y'all, welcome to Back to Basics with Crystal, and welcome to a beautiful fall day here in Southeast Texas. It's only 89 degrees. 89 degrees in the middle of October. I don't know about y'all, but I am so ready for some cooler weather. But anyway, I am out here in the garden today, and I thought I'd just give you a quick tour around, show you something that I discovered a few days ago, and give you an update on our Ruth Stout method of gardening, and some peas that I planted a month and a half ago. So let's get to it. All right, so let's start over here. I was in this area weeding, and all of a sudden I get this big whiff of tomato plants. Now, if you guys have ever grown tomato plants, you know that they have a very distinctive odor to them. So I'm weeding through, and I'm like, where did that smell come from? So I start looking, and I start looking very, very carefully. And y'all, look what I found. Look. There's probably 20 to 25 tomato plants in this area. I did not plant them. These are volunteer tomato plants. So let me give you a backstory real quick. Earlier this season, this mystery tomato plant popped up. Just one. I've never grown tomatoes in this area ever. And so this one tomato plant popped up. And it was some kind of hybrid. And I'm pretty sure the chickens planted it there. It would look like a cross between a beefsteak and a cherry tomato. Very, very, very sweet little tomatoes. Could not get very many because the chickens and ducks went crazy for them. So I guess while the chickens and the ducks were eating on my tomato plant, they were also planting another patch. So let me show you. Look, would you have been able to tell that that's a tomato plant right there in the middle of those weeds? I probably pulled up about 4 of them before I realized it. There's another one right there. So over here, look what else I found. Da-da-da-da. This is some volunteer mustard greens. We were getting some seeds off of a mustard plant that was planted. Actually, the whole plant was planted right over there where that hay is. And so we were getting the seeds off right about in this area. Some must have fell, germinated. Look at that. Now we've got some mustard greens to have for dinner one night this week. I wasn't even ready to plant mustard greens yet. So that's a very nice surprise. Okay, so off to the other thing. Let's talk about my poor failure of sugar snap peas. Chickens are going crazy over there. Okay. So in this row, this very, very crooked row, I planted some peas. And in this row right here, where the little white kitty cat is, I don't know if you can tell, 2 distinctive rows that I planted peas in. Sugar snap peas. I have never been able to grow them here in Southeast Texas. They came up, everything was fine. Everything was good, and then all of a sudden, they started yellowing back and dying. Some started yellowing back and dying, and some just died. And you can see here, I've got a couple of little plants right there. Now, you see weeds, and I know what you're thinking. Hey, Crystal, you put that hay down to keep the weeds out. Well, where there is bare ground, and that is definite bare ground down there, because I pulled the hay back so the peas wouldn't get smothered out. Where you see bare ground, you'll see weeds. And you can see they're in this channel where I pulled it back for the peas. All the peas except for maybe half a dozen have died back. My germination rate on these seeds were also really low too. That is probably, in all honesty, because they were old seeds. They were over 4 years old. So let's skip over to the other row real quick. This row right here, this is the row that hardly anything germinated. And you can still see, look, they all just kind of yellowed back and died like that. So I have a couple of theories as to why. I'm going to talk about that here in a few. Say hi, Nacho. Hi, Nacho. Say hi. Yeah, he's a sweet boy. He's a sweet boy. He's an accidental dog out here. Somebody dumped him. Who could dump that little face? He's so sweet. He's just a puppy. Still intact. Just a baby. Just a baby. Him and Roscoe are becoming buddies. He now lives outside with Roscoe because he's not housebroke. So anyway, there's one pea plant there. So I've already got another tray of 72 peas started, and I'll get those planted. I'll get these channels cleaned out of all the weeds and just replant whenever they germinate up. Okay, so chicken dirt from the chicken house. So now let's talk about the Rooftop Method. I love this method. I'm so glad I switched. I love having the hay down. Hay is very, very inexpensive. That hay right there, the big roll, $30 for a big roll. And it's just natural grass. It's not the good expensive horse hay. It's just natural grasses. And it was $30, and it goes a long way. It actually took me, that's the second roll right there. So it took me a roll and a half to do this whole area over here. This whole area that you're seeing over here. Now I do have some problems with some weeds, but I've got about 90% reduction than what I had this time last year. And you can see some weeds. You see a patch right there. This is probably the thinnest hay over here. But that'll all be eliminated soon. All that over there, you remember this was the phase 2, and that was the beginning of the hay. All those plants came out, and it's actually time to put hay down. So those weeds will come out really easy. I'll just get the big weeds out, and anything small, I'll just literally just throw the hay on top, and I'm not going to worry about it. Because look, that's what I did over here. I just threw the hay on top. And you do see some stuff that did pop through, and I expected that. See, there's some of the stuff that popped through over here. Totally expected that. Now the stuff that has popped through, I'll pull those out or cut them back and just throw the hay on top. I mean, it's so easy to put down. You just throw it on top. Throw it on top, smush it down, walk away. Roscoe tried to bury a decoy there. So this method, I love it. I'll continue to use it. And hay is so inexpensive, unlike wood chips for me. And it breaks down really fast, and as it breaks down, you have to add more hay. I mean, it's just that simple. Hay breaks down, add more hay. If not, you'll get weeds. But they come up really, really, really easy. Let me show you. This right here. Whoops, left the roots down. I'm trying not to pull the hay all up. Oh well, it's gone. All right, let's try again right here. Oh no, that's the top. All right, let's try again right here. They come up almost clean. Okay, super, super easy. The roots just come up really clean, and they just go right on top. See? Really easy to come out, really, really easy. Now, if you've got some Bermuda, I've got some Bermuda here. And look how easy that comes up. Just comes up and out, and I just throw it right on top. So I could literally eliminate all the weeds in here in about 5 minutes. It's really super easy. Oh, silly Roscoe, silly Roscoe. Yeah, silly Roscoe. All right, so that's my volunteer tomato plants, my peas on purpose, and the Rooftop Method. So let's talk about why I think that the peas are failing. Okay, so I showed you our volunteer tomato plants, and I also showed you the peas that we planted on purpose. So let's talk a little bit about why I think the peas are failing. One, old seeds. It could be the case on why some of them, over 50%, didn't germinate at all. But I don't think it's the reason why they're actually growing and then dying back. The second reason is heat. This, I think, is a real cause. In the past, when I've tried to grow sugar snap peas in the spring, what has happened is they would grow, everything's going great, we get our first heat snap or heat wave, and then they just die back. There's no warning, no anything, they just die back. I think that could be what we're seeing here. But the other reason is, and this is more what I'm leaning towards, is that they have not been fed. Let me elaborate on that a little bit. In commercial growing operations, when they grow plants to grow seeds for the seed market, those plants are grown with lots and lots of fertilizer. Probably something like a 13-13-13 mix. And in a conventional garden, that's fine. you know, because you're going to bring your seeds in, you're going to fertilize. But in a garden that is more organic, using more organic methods where you're not going to be using those chemical fertilizers, those seeds don't work, because as the plants grow, they expect lots and lots of fertilizer, just like their parent plant. So my advice to you is that if you are planning on an organic garden or a more organic garden using sustainable methods, then I would highly recommend using heirloom seeds. You don't have to go out and spend the money on organic heirlooms. I mean, you can, but this year I switched to just heirloom seeds. I didn't go out and buy the organic heirlooms, just the heirloom seeds. And what I found this year was that my plants went crazy. They liked the fact that, you know, they had lots of hay covering them. My plants were so big, I had problems walking in parts of my garden. So, if you're planning on an organic garden or a more organic garden, go for the heirloom seeds. Yes, they do cost a little bit more, but in my opinion, I think you'll be much, much more happy. And even if you are planting a conventional garden using chemical fertilizers, that's perfectly fine. I would still lean back more towards the heirloom seeds, because those heirloom plants will offer different characteristics than what we're looking for. I think they're more flavorful. That's just my opinion. So that's me. I guess that's enough of my babbling for today. I've got to get going here, and got to get in and finish out and can my pork stock. So remember this: organic garden, heirloom seeds. I think you'll be super happy. If y'all like my video, please give me a big old thumbs up down below. And also don't forget to share and subscribe to my page. And we will talk to you guys later. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.